Hello viewers, today we're going to be cleaning and servicing a Holmes twin window fan. This thing is filthy. I'm sure it's probably never been cleaned or oiled at all. The model number is HAWF20. I can't read. I'll put it in the video box. Anyways, we're going to get this apart. We're going to take all the electrical components out, and then we're going to try putting the guards into the dishwasher. I bought some of the TSP, I think it was, that somebody had recommended I get. So I got that to put in the dishwasher along with the soap. So we'll try that, see what happens. The motors will service. The blades, I guess we can wash by hand. Try out the new sink. So let's get started. So we have a bunch of screws on the back here that we will remove. Let's see, does this have a charge? It does have charge. That's cool. That's lovely. The screw just fell into a box. Okay, got it. What the heck? There's something in there. Pesky screw. Okay, that is all the screws. Now, here's where things start to become a problem. We have these clips here, which are a total pain in the neck to get off. These are heavily yellowed on one side, so most likely this will break as we try to get it off of here. Start with the less yellowed side in hopes that maybe it'll come, but probably not. I don't know why these are designed this way. These clips are not intended to come off. Pretty much what needs to happen is there's a tab on the bottom. It kind of goes like down, then over, and then down, and then back. And so you need to have, you got to get under that bottom tab and then come up, which it really doesn't like to do. Yeah, it's already all cracked, and I barely even applied any pressure. And this is because of the sun damage. When the plastic turns yellow like that, it's all brittle. So we're just gonna break it off. I'm not gonna be able to get it. Most likely it'll be the same story down here. Yeah, like there's nothing to work with. Stupid design. I have other videos showing the removal of those clips on fans that are not yellowed, but sometimes you just can't get it. Alright, so now we're inside the fan. No electronics here. That can go right into the dishwasher. Here's what was inside of this. Just parts of that busted stupid clip. This thing is just caked on with dust. Wow. Just crazy. So the blades, there's a little not a spring, like a coil clip in here, which just kind of slowly push upwards. And once that's off, the blade should just pull straight off like that. A little dust will come off. Set that clip aside. There's the other blade. Now we can see the extent of the absolute filth in here. It's got quite a few hours on it for sure. So the motors, what we're going to do is, because the shaft has got some sticky stuff on there, I want to remove this other clip that's on there. And then we're going to turn the motors on briefly, and we're going to clean up the shaft. We'll file it down a little bit with some very fine grade sandpaper, because we're going to pull these bearings off and we want a good clean surface to do that over. So we're going to use a little bit of oil here. This is 3-in-1 oil. We're not going to use this to lubricate the bearings, we're just going to use this to clean the shaft. We're going to use a different type of oil for the cleaning, lubricating process. And we'll just go around the shaft like this to clean it up. You know, that sticky stuff off of there. Then we'll take our sandpaper and just slightly go clean all that rust off of there. Okay, so now the shafts are clean and the bearing should slide right off. We'll just check to make sure there's no other rust or anything on there. Oh, it feels pretty clean. Okay, so now we're going to remove the motors from the housing. get this in the dishwasher, and then we'll come back on the video and work on the motors. So we got 2 screws here, and here you can barely see them because of the dust. I guess it's tie wrapped up here at the top, so we'll have to cut these tie wraps off. Okay, so there's that. We'll just leave that in place and we'll open that up and see if we can clean that in the dishwasher as well. I just brushed off the thick accumulation of dust outside because it'll get clogged in the dishwasher drain. So now let's put this in here. I guess this is not really going to be able to be extended. Need that this time around. The blades I'll just wash by hand. That's easy enough. Don't think so. That's fitting properly. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna put the dishwasher soap in here. And then this is what I was told to get. Trisodium phosphate. So we'll just put a little bit of that on the top there. It's about a teaspoon, I think. That's probably about a teaspoon. Yeah, we'll shut that. Close this up. And then we'll turn the water on. Water is on. We'll run the hot water for a minute until it gets warm. Shouldn't take more than 15 seconds because we're right near the boiler. Water's hot. Let's turn on the machine. Oh, it's not plugged in. Okay, now it's plugged in. So we don't need no heated dry, we don't need no steam or anything like that. We're doing a automatic wash. And there it goes. It's filling up. So while that does its thing, we'll come over here and we'll clean the blade. Quite a difference. This one was pretty bad. Goes the dishwasher. That water coming out brown. let's take a look at these motors while that washes. These filthy motors. Well, we'll start by just brushing them off. Try to get them a little bit cleaner here. I think this might have been used in a kitchen because the dust that's on here has got that kind of greasy stickiness to it. So this would be a good test for the dishwasher because that kind of stuff is hard to get off. See how it's just sticking everything here? Does not come off with a dry clean very well at all. But for the motor, you really shouldn't get the motor wet, so not much you can do about it. Yeah, this is very grimy. You can try a little bit of cleaner on a towel maybe. Now it's better than it was. It's not perfect, but it's not going to be because these are in real bad shape. Some of this is rust, like this one's all rusted out on the side. I'm not going to be getting that off. If we get the dust off, that at least improves the airflow so the motor will run cooler. And that's really the objective here, is just to make this work well again. Alright, that's good for the cleaning portion of these motors. Now let's get to the bearings. So these bearings are pretty dry. They're still spinning pretty free, but they definitely need some help. So we're going to take off these two screws here. And here we have our rotor and both bearings. So we need to take note in the direction that this goes, because if you put this in the wrong way it'll spin backwards. So we can do a little bit more cleanup now with these bearings taken off. Get some more of the dust off of there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to clean the bearings out. So we're going to take, this fit through there. Yeah, we'll use this screwdriver. We're going to wrap the towel around the screwdriver, and we're just going to clean out the bearing. These are pretty clean. They're not really gummed up, they're just dry. Yeah, not much to speak of in terms of grime and stuff in the bearings. So now we're going to go and we're going to get some. We use the Zoom spout oil in this one. This is Superco Zoom spout. It's good oil for fan motors. Well, the container here is a little bit busted, but still a decent oil. Used this oil for years, never had a can fall apart like this. So inside the bearings there is a there's like a felt-like material around that copper-colored piece. Now we're going to fill all that up in there with oil, and that's going to hold the oil for future use as the bearing dries out. These bearings are somewhat porous, and the oil will seep through from the spongy material into the bearing as needed over time. So if properly lubricated from the beginning, these can actually go quite a while in between service intervals. That took a lot more than the other one did. Actually, this one, because it's closed on the other side, we can just pour a couple of drops in there directly and it'll eventually go to where it needs to be. Alright, so the bearings are lubricated now. So we'll begin to reassemble this. We know that goes on there. These two washers go on the other side of here. We'll have to do those one at a time. Put a little bit of oil. We can wipe this down in case there's any grime on there. There's not really. It's pretty clean. Sometimes when these get rattly, we can take these thrust washers and flip. Okay, well now I guess we can't do that because we don't know what the orientation was, but is there a wear mark on there? We can just turn them around. And sometimes that will quiet it down a little bit because the wear is now facing the opposite side. It's like putting new washers on there. There are some traces of oil on here, so these at some point came with enough lubrication to last a little while at least. It's a common problem with a lot of fans today. They ship from the factory without enough oil and bearings just lock up real quick. Let's put a little bit of oil on here now just to make this go together easier. Now these screws, they don't go overly tight. Yeah, they go kind of just firm and that's it. Now you might find that the shaft is stiffer than it was before. Take a screwdriver handle and just kind of bang it around a little bit and it'll free it right up. These have self-aligning bearings in that sense. Gonna move the shaft around and it'll free right up. Okay, now we'll go through the other motor. I'm going to turn the washers around as well on this one. Hopefully that'll cut down on whatever rattling we were hearing. It might not, it might, who knows. Can't really see a significant wear mark on these, so it may not make a difference. Sometimes you can really see the wear. Okay, that's that. Make sure this gets lined up right. And all we gotta do is wait for the dishwasher to finish. And we can reassemble. Okay, those should be ready to go for the rest of the season. This finished, and it's now alleging that it's clean. So I'm not impressed with it at all. It's cleaner than it was, but I would not really call this very clean. It seems like on one side, like the spray must have been hitting this side, it's pretty good, but then here it's not. The only thing that is good though is that it's very loose now, and so perhaps if we just go through this real quick with a brush, the rest of the dust might just kind of come right off. Didn't do very well in here at all, but again, it's all loose now, so maybe this will clean up quickly. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed by this. I was hoping this would work better. Maybe this dishwasher is busted. I really have no idea. But we'll just finish it off in the sink. Maybe if I ran it through here twice it would work better. Maybe a different soap would work better. I don't know. It's only really the second time I've used this thing, so there is still more experimentation to be done, I suppose. But let's see here. Yeah, this will clean up pretty easy now. Whatever's left, it just kind of comes right off. So it's still, I suppose it's still worth using, but it would be nice if it could eliminate this step entirely. That was certainly my hope with it. Maybe if I put it back in and turned it around and then ran it again, and maybe that would get it all off, because it definitely is cleaner on one side than the other. I don't know. I have a feeling that the dishwasher is just kind of messed up. It's the only kitchen appliance that came with this house, so it kind of makes you wonder. The rest of the appliances was gone, so why the dishwasher was left, I don't know. Probably never know. The dust, whatever's left, definitely comes off very easily now. So I do think that this is an improvement to run it through there first. If nothing else, it's definitely saving some time on this process, because typically this would take some time to get all this off of here, but it's just one pass over with the wet brush is taking it right off. Maybe let it soak in the surface cleaner for a minute. Maybe it'll just spray off. Actually did take off a considerable amount of it. Maybe we'll do a couple more sprays of the surface cleaner and we'll wrap up here. It actually did a pretty good job. Well, I think the surface cleaner has done all that it's willing to do. So we'll just have to manually brush off the rest. Not a big deal, there isn't too much left. We'll just go through right quick with the small brush and clean up the rest of the slots and get this looking real nice. I really despise this task, but it's going quickly. I can tolerate it if it goes at this pace. So I guess a combination of going through the dishwasher once, maybe twice, makes it a lot easier. This isn't bad at all to do this. This only taken a few minutes. Normally this would take hours just doing it exclusively by hand. Whoa. here's what we've got now. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good compared to the way that it was. The dishwasher, it definitely made it easier to clean, but it didn't clean the thing itself as well as I would have hoped. That dishwasher might just be busted, I don't know. Much rather have a vintage one anyways. Maybe one day I'll find one in the area and swap it out. So we're going to put the motors back in now. Slip the switch back in. So it just goes like that. All these wires kind of tuck in underneath there. There's some clips on either side here where these 3 wires for the motors go back in. I guess I should have washed the cord as well. I'll do that later. It's getting late. Okay. So now we have this thing that goes over the cord. And then the motor screws, which are absolutely filthy. So we just get all the dust off of those before we put them back. Okay, slight snout malfunction there. Put these little clips back on the groove on the shaft towards the motor. This will keep the blade from going too far down. Okay, now the blades themselves go on. These clips go on to secure the blades to the shaft. Okay, so the blades are on secure. Bearings are spinning very freely now. This does not go back in because it does not belong in there. Okay, it's all back together. Of course, it sands the clips now, so this is going to be an annoyance if we want to use the side panel. We'll have to tape it in place or something. It seems like it's not shutting all the way for whatever stupid reason it might have. There it goes. Very, very poor design on that. I don't know why they did it that way. So that looks a lot better now. Looks like brand new. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I gotta clean the cord off, but other than that, let's see how it runs now. It should run a lot better than it was before. Should be quieter, and it should move more air. Here we go. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. It's throwing the air clear across the room now. No more rattling, it sounds smooth. Pretty good airflow. I missed a little bit of grime right here. That's it. It looks pretty good otherwise. Okay, that's the high, the low. Also working well on the low. What a huge improvement. Alright, well this should be ready for many more summers of reliable operation.